All right, this is going to be a first, I guess, part one or volume one, Camp Walker's Wagon Roulette Campground Review. Today is August the 23rd on a Saturday, 2025. We are at Sesquicentennial State Park in Columbia, South Carolina. A lot of locals refer this as to Sesqui State Park. It does have some Indian ties with the Catawba Indians and the Sequoia Indians, I believe. And this park has been erected since 1930. So we're going to give this a whirl. This is the splash pad that's associated with the park. And we're going to enter in the campground premises. Of course, at all parks, they have a map up front that'll give you trails that are associated with any state parks or any parks that you're visiting. This is for the campgrounds. This is where a kiosk will be at all times. A lot of campgrounds don't do a advertised one-nighter, but this one, since we're so close to I-20, I-77, and Interstate 26, this kiosk board here that's empty right there will be a number pad that is available nightly. So if you come after hours and the gate's still open, or if you have a gate pass to get in, because this is one of the state parks that uses the gate, you would look here for any available sites. If you're staying for one night, if you just need some downtime, it'll be posted, and it'll be posted on each loop. This here is the back end of loop number one, and this is the entry point for loop number one. Of course, like all state parks, or at least this one, it is one way. These are, of course, the campground hosts got a fabulous setup going on here. And then this starts number two. And so forth. Even numbers, even numbers, sorry, on the right, odd numbers on the left. Bottom loop has numbers 1 through 35. Yeah. This is where it splits. 1 through 35 to the left, to the right is 36 through 84. There's about 9 or 10 camp spots in the first loop that have full hookups, which is 50 amp or 30 amp electric, water, and sewer. There is a dump house at the very beginning by the splash pad. Of course, this is bottom loop still. Numbers are increasing from 40 to 84. The downside of the campground. This is one of their bathhouses here on the left. And of course, an information placard on some of these trees and the hard labor that was on sacred land. It's the middle bathhouse. Of course, full showers, hot water, cold water, running water, toilets, amenities. It's a little wet, had a little bit of rain. Of course, if anybody knows this park, it can get wet, but it drains very well. I would recommend anybody stay on these upper loop, which is the second loop. Anything past 52 and above and around, because it starts to increase the plateau of the land, and it's easier to maintain if you got a thunderstorm rolling through, not having to pick up so much of your stuff. It's the second bathhouse that we come upon. Of course, you can see there's plenty of shade. Do your due diligence when you park your camper. Make sure it's exactly where you want it. Make sure you're in a clear area. Second bath, full bathhouse, no laundry. Does have a second campground host side. It does have a horseshoe area. It is a very friendly park. As always, every state park should be friendly, right? So 84 sites are available. This loop that we're on now has majority of it has 30 amp instead of 50 amp. The first loop has a combination of both 50, 30 amp hookups and water, and like I said, partial sewer hookup sites. We're now crossing back into the first loop, sites 10 through 35, because it is one way, and you will see some people go the wrong way. Now you do have some exceptional fire pits for a group of people in the middle here on the first loop. And you have an awesome book exchange for those that like to read. And another fire pit is for groups.
A payphone. It doesn't work though.
And the payphone is just for us 80s kids and sentimental reasons.
Nostalgia.
It makes you want to call a collect call to your mom or dad and say, we had a baby, it's a boy.
Thank you guys for joining in.
This is the bathhouse for the bottom loop, which is, I believe, it is under plans to be renovated or rebuilt. And then I'm going to take you the back way to the primitive campground site that has no electric, no water, just old school setups for camping. Now, this is primitive group camping. The beauty about this is most people, I don't think they realize, you do not have to hike into here. I will show you how you can drive in at Sesqui or Sesquicentennial State Park, however you want to pronounce it, to get to it. We had a group of women that were here with some older girls that were in Girl Scouts during a heck of a thunderstorm that stayed back here. But they were able to park back here. Very wide open, group camping. This is site number 3 to let you know how big this is out of 6. Of course, there's a schoolhouse in the back. It does have a podium that can be used. I'll take you by that in a minute. That'll show you how to get in here if you want to drive back here to camp. Again, no water, no electric, just you and nature in a group. You have a fire pit, you have posts, set up hammocks, or however you want to set up your tent for your group. I think this could be in a group of 20 or more. I am not sure, but if you want to do group camping, they will have all the details at the park ranger's office here at Sesquicentennial State Park. Now let's show you how you get there. There's a trail, a lot of trails back here. You have 2 trails, a red trail and a blue trail. Red trail is a fire trail.
We'll get to those in a little bit.
And the blue trail is for mountain bikers. Also at Sesquicentennial, or Sesqui, they have a baseball field and volleyball court, which you can drive to with your group. All of this pathway you see me on leads out to the main entry parking spots at Sesquicentennial. This is where it gets really interesting because it gets beautiful for a park that you come to. Co-ed softball, work co-ed softball, whatever you want. You already see people out here enjoying their afternoon. It is a beautiful Saturday after a couple rainy days. And then boom. Field of dreams, my folks. You already see people enjoying themselves on this beautiful Saturday. And this is the ball field.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm a horrible driver. Not really, but I am.
Not really. He's actually a great driver.
But if you come out here, you'll see exactly the pleasure of most of our state parks in any of our states, how preserved they are by nature.
She took the trail and come back up out at the top left.
I'm going to come out where you can drive into group camping, is what I need to show. This is the path. This is the pathway of how do I get there in your episodes of, I've been to that campground and I don't know how to get there because as we are campground hosts here. And as we have been asked, how do we get to this? How do we get to the group camping? We were told we could drive there. And this is how. Have you ever been to Sesquicentennial? Yes, I'm going in reverse. And for those that have been to Sesquicentennial or Sesqui State Park, this is where you would drive in. Where we began this tour was on the other side of that splash pad. Over there. Those that come to the park have to go on the roundabout one-way loop, and they would enter this parking lot. Like that car that now is leaving and entering out of the loop, like your normal roundabouts. You would bring your group into this section. You would check in at that office down there. And you would see this sign that says group camping. And this is your path. Now for me, I'm going to end it here because I can cut through this little field and get back to where I need to be. Thank you for joining us. Y'all enjoy Sesquicentennial State Park. If you ever stop by, have a good trip and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.